Everybody, when they hear that I am a content creator, look at me crazy like, girl, find you something real to do. Like, this goal isn't achievable. And that hello, ladies, and welcome back to the L Pod One, where we grow into the women we are destined to be, one step at a time. If you are new here, my name is Latricia, and if you are familiar, hey. Okay, ladies, so today we're going to be talking about healthy isolation. Yes, where you isolate yourself from the world in a healthy way. You're taking this time to heal, you're taking this time to feed into you, and you're taking this time to elevate in life in general. So go ahead, y'all know I got the PJs on, and grab your wine. It's gonna be a long video. There are seasons where disappearing is actually healthy. Like, and I'm not talking about completely, well, maybe I am talking about completely ghosting the entire world and just cutting off every connection except for your household. But we're not talking about that version tonight. We're talking about going ghost a little bit, just a little bit, kind of pulling back from your social environments where you go to hang out and focusing solely on you and your mental and what's best for you all around the board. And sometimes that does consist of isolating yourself so you could really dig deep within to find out who you really are. During this period of your life, you start to naturally outgrow noise, constant socializing, and environments that keep you emotionally stagnant. If y'all see me looking down, I am looking at my notes, so just bear with me. During this self-isolation, what I'm realizing from my personal experiences is that sometimes the reason why you're isolating yourself is to protect your energy while you are rebuilding yourself. So you are creating a newer version of yourself, and the best way for you to create that newer version is to block out everyone else and solely focus on you and your family. That's the best way that I did it. So for a long period of time, I stopped talking to friends and my siblings for, I want to say, about weeks on end. I'm not really going to say months. I'm gonna stick to weeks on end. I stopped socializing with friends and family and really started digging down deep in what I wanted to do. So if y'all are new here, I am wanting to be a full-time content creator. Of course, you guys are here watching me, so I do want to be a full-time content creator. I do also want to do lashes. I am in school. And during this period of my life, I realized that I need growth in order to be able to accomplish all these goals that I have for myself. And a lot of times I was finding myself distracted, being on the phone with my siblings, my friends, talking about a whole bunch of nothing, when in all reality, I need to work on building myself up, rebuilding myself. So I went from this person who is constantly doing nothing to a person who had all these goals and dreams, and I was stuck. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know how to do it. And I realized that it is me. I have too much extra things going on outside of rebuilding myself, and I need to fix that. So in order to fix that, I have to isolate myself. I have to take time, be in silence, and question what I really want to do without other people's opinions, without feeling obligated to meet other people's needs as well. I found myself being a people pleaser, and if y'all do watch my content, you know how I am now about people pleasing. It is so outdated. That's just how I'm gonna keep it. It is so outdated and exhausting. And the more you're trying to people please while trying to rebrand yourself, you're going to have burnout. You're going to be mentally and physically drained. And that is not what you want when rebuilding your characteristics, okay? You want to be full of life, full of energy, and feeding into yourself, feeding into what you want to do, what you're passionate about, where you see yourself going in this journey, and dedicate all your energy and time to that. And if you do have a spouse and children, that energy goes to them as well, instead of everybody else outside of your household. So for a long period of time, I was not talking to them because I found myself in more arguments. I found myself worrying about, stressing about other people's life decisions that I personally could not control. And that was taking such a big toll on me rebuilding myself in general, because I'll say, hey, Trisha, stop cussing. And the next thing you know, I'm cussing a sibling out for their decisions that they're making, and they keep making those stupid decisions. And I had to realize I cannot fix those people. So during this time of me finding out who I really am, I'm going to isolate myself and put myself in a bubble, basically. Put myself in a bubble where I can really maintain what's going on in my life and not focus on everybody else's. And that is what I did. And during that time, I had less opinions that made me feel bad about the things I was doing or the situations I was going through, along with comparing myself to other individuals that really had a whole different life journey than me. We were not set to go on the same path. So I had to realize, okay, I keep comparing myself to these people. I need to dig down deep within and figure out, what am I going to do for me? I can't sit up here and always look at other people's life and want that, because that is not meant for me. That is not my calling, and that is not my journey. So I had to, again, self-reflect, sit in the mirror, understand who I am, and focus solely on that, not other people, not their goals, not their dreams, none of that. Just me, myself, and everything I want to accomplish in the life that I have. Another thing that made me realize that taking that time to isolate myself for growth, because this is isolation for growth. This is not just isolating because you're just sad and down. No, this is isolation for growth. So another thing that I've realized when isolating myself is that I didn't have to socially perform. I did not have to do that. I didn't have to put on a show for everyone else like I'm this big time person who knows where her life is going and got everything planned out, when in all reality, I was living in chaos. I was draining myself by putting on a fake mask every day and going out and talking to people, having communications with people that was truly not me. I was bottling so much up in. I was saving my opinions because I didn't know if they would hurt other people's feelings. I didn't express my authentic self, and that caused me to again have a form of burnout. And I noticed when I would have that burnout, I wouldn't be able to feed back into myself or my family again. Like I said previously, it was just like performing. It was like I was being an actress, and it got draining. It got tiring. I had to really find out who I was. And when you meet this new version of myself, that's going to be me authentically. And if you don't like it, it is what it is. Like I always say, this is my journey in life, not anyone else's. So during this rebuild time, you're going to find yourself questioning if what you're doing is right, and whether or not you should speak to these individuals, family, friends, coworkers, whoever you choose that you think you need to speak to, when in all reality, you don't. You need to take that time to work on you, work on your character development and what you want to do in life, so that you could go on to the next chapter in your book. One thing I've been struggling with, and I'm still struggling with, is growth sometimes looks boring. Simple as that, straight to the point. Growth looks boring. And that is for the beginning stages of growth. I don't really want to say the beginning stages of growth, because I don't necessarily think it's just the beginning. I think growth looks really boring in the middle of it. Like, not the beginning, because the beginning is like a relationship. You're in the honeymoon phase. But towards the middle of that relationship, you're like, damn, what am I doing all of this stuff for? Like I'm just doing all these things. I'm not seeing no type of improvement. I'm not seeing progress. It's just I keep doing the same thing and nothing's happening. I keep feeding into this subject that I like. I keep feeding into this business that I really do see myself doing in the next 10 years, or feeding, like my boyfriend, he does crypto. I keep seeing myself feeding into the stock market and I'm not seeing any progress, when in all reality, sis, that means that you're doing a good job. That means that you're doing a good job. When you're in that moment and you're still going and it's feeling boring, you're feeling like you're missing out on things, you're putting all your money into this certain stock and you're not seeing any progress within it, and you're just letting it sit there, and it's like, dang, I'm only making a cent a day. What am I doing? Let me make something very clear. That time that you're waiting is destined for greatness. Okay, not everybody is patient enough to just sit there and let their work do the talking for them. They want to see it right away. Everything that comes fast is not good. I know y'all heard the little slogan, all fast money ain't good money. That's with everything in your life. If you're rushing these things to happen, like I find myself with my social media thing, I find myself like, dang, I'm not making any money off social media yet. I'm not having as many subscribers or followers as I want to. I have very few supporters. Everybody, when they hear that I am a content creator, look at me crazy like, girl, find you something real to do. Like, this goal isn't achievable. And that sometimes brings me down to a place where it's just like, this ain't never gonna work out. This ain't never going to work out. And then in the way back of my head, I see this vision, I see this dream of me living the life I was destined to live. And that's what's keeping me going. And I had to realize that just because it's slow right now, just because it's boring right now, just because you're not bringing in that income right now, doesn't mean that it's not going to happen later. It will eventually happen if I keep working hard for it. My hard work is going to pay off at the end. And that's the tip I want you guys to know. Just because you guys are not seeing the progress now doesn't mean that it's not slowly happening, because it is, okay? And along with staying home, a lot of us like to go out, party, hang out with other people, just find so many distractions throughout our days. Just stay home. Yes, that is boring, but find you some hobbies to do at home and it will no longer be boring. I promise you. You're going to enjoy your home. You pay the bills, you bathe, it's fresh, it's comfortable. If you make it that way. I mean, I don't know how everybody is living, but in my situation, it's fresh, it's comfortable. It is okay to be home. It is okay not to go out and party every day, every weekend. It is okay to enjoy your own company. And during this growth period, you need to be doing that. You have a certain goal. You need to be focusing on reaching that goal. And again, that was my problem as well. I was so focused on going outside, making friends, all of these other things. And God keeps sitting me down like, hey, sis, we're not doing that. Right now is the time that you need to be growing your business, your career. Right now is the time for you, and you keep prancing around it, and you're not going to get to this place that you want to get to because you're not taking it serious. You want to do everything else but this. So sitting at home and working solely on whatever you are working on to make sure you are at the place you want to be 10 years from now, it may seem boring, but it's worth it. Also, during this growth isolation period, you are growing as a person as well, mentally, okay? Mentally and physically. That means that you are journaling, you are reading, you are opening up to God. You are finding things about yourself that you've never noticed before. You are creating eating habits, night routines, morning routines, and workout routines that you never done before because you are simply getting disciplined. Okay, you are getting disciplined and you are finding more about yourself. You are teaching yourself when reading, when listening to these podcasts. You are actually feeding yourself information from valuable people, and that is a very good thing. Don't ever confuse that with being bored. It may seem boring in the beginning, but I promise you, once you start to do these things on a regular, you're going to see the impact it has in your life. These little small things make dramatic changes throughout your life. Journaling how you feel can help you cope with your emotions. Reading a book could help you expand your vocabulary. Listening to podcasts could help you expand the way you think and not just have a biased opinion. Okay, it could put you in all different type of people's shoes and give you their perspectives on a certain subject that you just can't seem to understand, and eventually you will by being put in their shoes, listening to their point of views. It expands your whole personality, your whole mindset. It allows you to reach a level of growth that you may have thought you never would have met if you was constantly doing something to distract you from becoming the better version of yourself. Also, get out of drama. I know it may seem fun. I said this on my last video. Get out of drama. Them people business is not your business. Simple as that. It's not. I love y'all, and that's why I'm talking to y'all like this. It's not your business. What that girl got going on ain't got nothing to do with you. You need to focus on your business and what you got going on. Yes, it may seem fun, because trust me, your girl loves reality shows, the Shade Room, all of that. I love it now bad. That is like, okay? But sometimes I have to stop watching that because I think that's my reality, when in all reality it's not. That is strictly for the internet, not for real life. Stop confusing the two. They're not the same. Simple as that. Okay, for this next one, during this isolation growth journey, sometimes people take the isolation as you're trying to be funny or you no longer want to connect with them, when in all reality, sis, you're just trying to grow as a person. Life is taking a toll on you, and you just need to disconnect from everybody else and reconnect with yourself. I don't want to say they need to understand that, because nobody needs to do anything, but they should be able to understand that if they really care about you. And if they don't, as said in previous videos, let them people go. They are not there to benefit your life. They're there to keep you at the same spot you were in before you started your isolation growth journey, okay? So leave them where they are at. My sister just hit me up today. It's been 4 months since we've been on the phone, girl. She just hit me up today and she was like, we were talking, having a ball. It's Mother's Day, so we were having a ball, and I was just telling her, like, girl, I'm so glad that you hit me up. I know you needed the time to work on yourself, work on your family. I'm here for that. I still love you, and I see your growth. Period. Left it cute and clean like that, because I love that person and I care about their mental and I care about their growth. So I'm willing to sacrifice me not talking to this person for a period of time to allow them to isolate in peace. It is normal. It is totally normal. If somebody wants to grow in peace, let them do that. And that's the same vice versa. If you want to grow in peace, a person should let you do that. And if they have problems with that, you are free to leave my life. I'm not forcing you to be here. I explained to you why I'm doing it. It's nothing personal. But if you are immature, you could go ahead and go about your business, because we all got our own lives. And quite frankly, I don't like you telling me what I can and can't do in mine, especially if I'm letting you know, hey, I'm doing this so that this could be a period of time where I'm growing and solely focusing on me. I want no distractions. I love you though, but this time is for me. If they can't understand that and it is not the people in your household, go ahead and leave. I don't got nothing else to say to you, boo. I love you always, but you don't respect me. You don't respect the growth. So I can't have you a part of this journey with me. Simple as that. The devil showed they face by themselves. And when I say growth isolation, I'm not telling you to just isolate yourself, over isolate yourself. No, that is not normal. That is not human. Humans need to have day-to-day reactions, period. If you are to the point where you're locking yourself in your room and you're not making any type of human reaction, that is not good for you. I'm gonna need for you to go outside just a little bit, run to the grocery store. Okay? That whole locking you in your room, baby, something is wrong. Now is the time where you need to start talking about mental health. That is not the same as growth isolation. Please do not confuse the two. And as well, during this topic, I don't want you to get the idea that I'm telling you to romanticize emotional shutdown. I don't want you to confuse me telling you to isolate yourself for growth for emotionally shutting down. That is not the same thing. People are emotionally aware of what's going on. You are in tune with your emotions. You can validate them. You understand them. That is a part of growing, not just cutting them off. That's not what I mean by growth isolation. Not just, oh, I'm going to isolate myself so I could just, when I feel some type of way, I don't react at all. No, that's not what I'm saying. You could react, but you could react in a healthier way. You understand your emotions, so you're communicating them instead of just being aggressive. There is two completely different things, and a lot of people tend to confuse the two. Like, oh, I'm nonchalant. So they show no emotions at all and think that is because they're the bigger person, when in all reality, no, boo. You're just canceling out your emotions, and that is not healthy for you, because one day you're going to crash out, and all of that you bottled is going to come out onto someone or something you love, and then you're really going to see the effects of you doing that. Everything you feel, you must be in tune with. Once you disconnect that emotional connection with yourself, once you disconnect that, you're no longer in tune with your emotions, and that is dangerous. Don't do it. You should not be feeling like a prisoner. You should not be feeling like a prisoner. That is not the type of isolation we're talking about. During this isolation, you should be feeling blessed. You should be feeling whole again. You should be feeling rejuvenated. You should not be feeling tired. Prisoners are where you are trapped. You are not trapped in that isolation. Always remember that. Please don't confuse them, because the moment you confuse them, you are putting yourself down a hole that is very hard to dig up. So I'm gonna need for you not to confuse the two. Whenever you're feeling like you're a prisoner, go talk to somebody. Go take yourself out to dinner. Go do something, because you're not in prison, sis. You just needed time to work on you. Obviously, you don't need that time anymore because you're starting to feel trapped. Go ahead, go outside. It's not that serious. I promise you, it's not. And it's not worth your mental health. Whatever isolation you plan on doing is not worth your mental health. With all love. Okay, ladies, that's all for tonight. And I just want you guys to remember this. Sometimes the growth season is quiet because you're becoming someone new before the world sees it. Please understand that it's not always going to be loud and chaotic when you are developing a newer version of yourself. You are going to be at peace with that before anybody else sees it. And I love that for you guys, and I also love that for me. So as always, I'll see you guys later. Make sure you comment down below and let me know how you guys feel about this conversation. Bye.